never marry someone because of money, possessions, fame, and position. Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel, Marriage Tips with Asperia. Now, in today's video, we are going to share about things that you should never do because of marriage. Now, the first mistake is never marry someone out of pity. Sometimes we are so kind, yeah? You marry someone not because you love them, but because you feel if I don't marry him or her, who will marry them? He's a total orphan. He doesn't have parents. She doesn't, she has been through torture. Her stepmother tortures her. And then, you feel sympathy and you feel like, let me just take her in, because, not because you love her, not because God has led you to that person, not even because you are equal, because of pity. It's very dangerous. Remember during high school, you could have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and then they text you, writing letters for you, promise me that our love will never end. And then you'll be like, I promised him in high school, I cannot, end this. Not because your heart has love for them, but because you feel you promised them. Be very careful. Marriage should be based out of love. Make sure you are led to this person by God himself. Have love for them. Because in the near future, marriage is going to be hard for you. And you start saying, I even helped you. You were poor. I even helped you. I educated you. I did this. You start, bringing things that even ended long time ago. And marriage becomes a very hard place for you to live in. Marry someone because you love them. You feel this is bone of my bones, fresh of my flesh. When God gave Eve to Adam, Adam did not pity or sympathize or do so. He said, this is now bone of my bones, fresh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman. Automatically, Adam gave her a name. Now, when you find a woman to marry, make sure you find this is now your bond. Make sure you're compatible to that person. Don't just go out, because maybe I sympathize with her, she's going through a lot. And then tomorrow you start, telling her how hard life was. It is not good. Thing that you should avoid. Don't marry someone because of their outside looks, their body, their stature, their color. Now it's not a sin to marry a woman who is beautiful, a guy who is handsome. Because even I told you, even if you marry an ugly one, her parents will not give you for free. So marry someone you can be proud of, someone you can proudly introduce your friends. This is my wife. This is the one, my guy. When God gave Adam a wife, he was so happy and he proudly said, this is now bone of my bones. So don't look at something physical. Look at more than physical. It is not very useless to marry a woman because they have big hips, a dimple, gaps in the teeth, they have a good voice, they have big eyes, big breasts, small waist, big waist. And when you reach home, they become a hell for you. They cannot even support you to do anything. Maybe they even stop you from going to church. Make sure you are compatible to this person. Look for character and capacity. Don't look at something, and then you say she's beautiful. Beauty will not cook for you. He's handsome. Handsomeness will not pay bills. Make sure this man is capable of taking care of me, of taking care of our children. Don't, so many people are falling in hot soups because she's so beautiful. I heard she's a Mohim, she's from this tribe, she's from this country. You don't even care to know whether she's godly. Now, the Bible says, favor is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Make sure you marry a person who fears God and a person you will be proud of before everyone. The third thing you should avoid, never marry someone because of money, possessions, fame, and positions. Sometimes when you are searching, you feel like, if I marry someone because he's a member of parliament, he works on TV, he does this, it's good, very good. But don't be moved by only that. Because things change. Positions can even perish. Look at the story of Job. Job was a wealthy man. He was so rich. He had everything. But one day, Things just perished in a twinkle of an eye. Now, do you know what his wife told him? Curse God and die. Hey, now if you marry such type of a person who will only look at your possessions, only look at your riches, then you have a problem. Make sure you look at something more than that. Someone who will be able to care for you, love you, and care for you for the rest of your life. There are people who have money, position, but they can never take care of their family. They can never take care of their wives. They can never take care of their husbands. They spend their money on other things. So don't be moved because he has money, he works in a bank, he's a doctor, he's this. It is very good to look for maybe a certain money, to have your standard, but it should not be the only thing you're looking for in a spouse. Look beyond. The fourth thing you should avoid: never marry someone who disrespects their parents. Now, you're dating this guy or this woman, and you get to know that this guy got a pang and you cut his father. He beats his parents. Make sure you avoid that type of person, because God says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you, and thou mayest live long on earth. Now, this person who beats the parents is already cast by God. It will not be well with him. It will not be well with her. The person who disrespects their parents. Now, who are you to marry a person who is already cast by God? He tells you how useless his parents are. He tells you how useless his mother, his father is. And then you say, hey, with you, he's going to understand and tell you are useless. Because he cannot respect his parents. Who are you to him? Who are you? Don't make that mistake. We have seen so many girls and men suffer in marriages with children. With husbands who beat them, who disrespect them, even speak nonsense in public. You stand in public and speak nonsense against your wife, against your husband. Not because you are already cast. It is not well with you. Don't marry someone who God has cast. Marry someone who honors, obeys, respects their parents, so that you and him, it shall be well with you. Because when you marry someone, you become one flesh. That means you can be a partaker of his curse, or it can also go to your children. Make sure you look for someone who obeys their parents. Another thing, don't marry an unbeliever. Sometimes we get to think that, me, I'm a believer, I'm going to change her. She's going to change. He's going to change. Who are you? Are you God? Now, if someone does not change before you marry them, don't think you are going to change them. There is a lot of chance that they may not change. And maybe, they can attract you to what they do. Maybe you marry this guy who is not a Christian, and it stops you from even going to church, from going to worship God. And he wants you home, or he wants you to do or follow him to his things. Or you marry this person, the Bible says, don't be deceived. Evil man acts good character. So you can marry someone because they look good, but they have some seed in them, and that is sin, and they will corrupt you as well. So Bible says, do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship is darkness and light? And righteousness and unrighteousness. Those things cannot match. So if you say, God has brought me this unbeliever, it is yourself. Don't say God, because God cannot go against his word. Now, are people marrying unbelievers? Yes. Is it godly? No, because they are rebellious. Don't marry an unbeliever if you are a believer. Last thing, do not marry someone because you heard that they are good in bed. Just that. So many things are spoken. There are some tribes here in Uganda, in Africa, because you hear people say that one, they are good in bed. They have this type of water. They have, and then for you say, let me marry this woman because I know she has the enough water. She has the big this. She's good in bed. Now, can good in bed? Okay, she must be good in bed. Or maybe that is true. But what is she going to do apart from having you on top of her, or having, doing things all the day? Look for someone who can be a good mother to your children, a good hardworking housekeeper, because housekeeping is the biggest job of a woman that God has called her to do. Someone who can be a companion, someone who can be a helper, someone you are equally yoked together. Not just marry anyhowly because you heard they have good sex. You only want sex. Marriage is just more than sex. It is a lot. A lot of people can offer you good sex, but they cannot be good wives or good husbands. A man who does only sex cannot provide food at home is useless. Make sure he's capable of taking care of you, capable of fearing God, capable, look for character and capacity. Don't just look at, those small, small things. Be very careful. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. I believe you have learned something, even if not all, but something has entered your head. Now, if you're dating, be observant. Don't do these things because you're going to find problems in the nearest future. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and please leave a comment for me in the comment section. I also want to learn from you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.